What's up, everyone? Patch 26.17 is here, and Riot is continuing to monitor roaming supports after the changes in 26.16. So far, they say the strategy is moving in the right direction, but they'll keep watching it before making any bigger changes. We also have a solid batch of champion buffs, some important nerfs, and another hit to Sundered Sky. Let's get straight into it.
Champion buffs. Aurelion Sol gets more mana-efficient Q usage, while W has a lower cooldown at higher ranks, giving him better scaling and mobility. Cho'gath's E gets 10 more base damage at every rank. Irelia's Q-AD ratio increases from 70% to 80%, giving her stronger damage on Blade Surge. LeBlanc gets a meaningful scaling buff. Her attack speed ratio is restored from 0.4 to 0.625, while W and Mimic W gain 10% more AP scaling. Qiyana's Q gets both higher base damage and bonus AD scaling, improving her burst. Trundle's W gets a massive attack speed buff at higher ranks, going from 90% all the way up to 120%. And Yasuo and Yone both get increased critical strike damage scaling from 90% to 95%, making crit builds more attractive compared to alternatives like Blade of the Ruined King.
Champion nerfs. Graves gets hit directly on Q. Both the initial shot and explosion lose bonus AD scaling, reducing his burst. Nasus loses some sustain, with his passive lifesteal dropping from 12, 18, 24% to 10, 15, 20%. This specifically makes his strong top lane stacking pattern easier to punish. Nocturne loses 15 base HP and 2 base armor. Thresh's E loses both base damage and AP scaling. Vayne gets a pretty unusual adjustment aimed specifically at top lane. She gains more base HP and attack speed, but loses scaling in both areas. Her Q costs more mana, while W deals less % health damage. The goal is to weaken her laning phase without completely removing Vayne top from the game. Finally, Xerath gets a generic nerf that affects both mid and bot. His base armor drops from 22 to 20, while Q loses 5 base damage at every rank. System changes. Stormrazor gets 5% more attack speed, going from 20% to 25%, with Riot hoping to make the item useful for more champions beyond Jhin. Sundered Sky gets hit again. Its AD drops from 45 to 40, while HP goes from 450 back down to 400. Riot says the previous changes were moving the item in the right direction, but it was still too dominant at higher levels of play. Quick winners and losers. Biggest winners: Yasuo, Yone, LeBlanc, Trundle, and Qiyana. Biggest losers: Graves, Nasus, Vayne top, Xerath, and Sundered Sky users. That's everything important from patch 26.17. Like and subscribe, let me know which champion you're most excited to play, and I'll see you in the next one.